Shelters are often the last resort for people experiencing homelessness when they get out of the hospital. That was certainly the case for one man, who CBC News is identifying only as Robert. He ended up at a shelter after he was discharged from hospital, but he says it wasn't his first choice.
They also just aren't a safe place to recover, and they wake you up at 9 a.m. and you're back out in the cold. So with frostbitten feet that have really need some rest and warmth, there wasn't a safe place for me to go.
Some shelters try to meet medical needs. Siloam Mission has doctors who volunteer their time, but they're only here for a total of up to 12 hours per week. It also has a room with 3 beds set aside for patients coming from hospitals, but the CEO says those beds haven't been available due to high demand from women seeking separate spaces.
But we also have people that are discharged from hospital with long-term care plans. That means that they're receiving home care in a shelter or aftercare in a shelter. And so this is not a level of care that people deserve.
Earlier today, the Manitoba Liberals released their plan to end homelessness. Their report calls for a special shelter to care for people after they're discharged.
Having people go who've got major medical problems. There was an example of a fellow who had 2 strokes. He was discharged to a shelter. I mean, this is not appropriate.
Next week, public health officials and shelter workers will gather in Winnipeg for a conference. Their goal is to explore ways the 2 sectors can work together. Tessa Blaikie Whitecloud from Siloam says she wants to see homeless shelters treated like public health settings. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.